Peter at Running on Tarot. Hope you guys are doing well. Just wanted to jump on a live stream. Love and light to all of you guys. Hope you're feeling good this Saturday. Should mention, as always, I'm logged into the channels that I read tarot for professionally, so if I get sidetracked, I will probably have to end this stream and or feel free to be a fly on the wall. But nonetheless, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a live stream. We got the Queen of Wands hopping out here. This is being in the driver's seat, turning away from a relationship here. Maybe no longer looking at relationships for the answer, no longer making relationships the center of your world. Also, I'm writing down high vibrational food, high vibrational clothes. High vibrational clothes. We talked yesterday on the stream about certain kind of textures and mixing different types of textures and how wool resonates at like 5,000 like frequency levels, and so does linen, but they cancel out each other if you mix them with any other threads other than themselves. Cotton resonates at like 100 with like spandex, and like polyester, they resonate at like the level of like a dead person. There's a study out there, Google it. It's like the frequency of like fabric or something like that. Like 100% like flax cloth is like like certain fabrics are like healing and stuff. So likewise, it made me think about high vibrational food as well. So the things that you put in your body and on your body. Turning away from relationships, not making, a thought that I had yesterday was that, like, I guess speaking biasly for like the men that are into women, I think that women are attracted to men that like have something going on. They have a passion, they have a center of their life, maybe their work, maybe their philanthropy, or whatever they're about. But it's, in a weird way, it tends to be that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just like my thought, that if someone makes the and it probably isn't even gender specific, but if somebody makes the center of their life, their relationship, unless both people are on board with that, I could definitely see how that could be a problem. And so the reason why I bring that up is because the Queen of Wands is looking the other way. She's not into it. I mean, you could read her as the divine feminine, okay? But don't call me out that I'm drinking sugar-free Rockstar. But speaking of high vibe, it's a transitional thing. It takes time, right? You're not going to have it all happen at once. But so, if you're the divine feminine, if you believe in that kind of stuff embodied in the gender, male or vice versa, it seems to be that, I would think anyways, that you would want to shift away from being like this kind of starving, you got your coffers out for, a relationship or affection or love or connection. I feel like maybe you have to go against a little bit of your instinct. I know I do, but some food for thought there, some philosophical, ideation to play around with as far as not making, putting a relationship or being with someone on a pedestal. It's kind of what I'm feeling with those energies here. But I think it's rough. I think it's hard. I think or you could say it's easy. I do believe that we write our own reality and we write our own code. But I think it requires awareness, though. You take into consideration that, like, since children, especially if you're around this age, that, we're given this kind of Disney fairy tale princess, and, there's one for us, and all this stuff, and then you see all these crazy options in the world, and all these different paths to walk and go down. But nonetheless, it's kind of almost ingrained or embedded in your psyche, and maybe even biologically, evolutionarily, to find that kind of special mate, that special counterpart. And I think as a result of that, we make that the main thing of our life, and then when we find it, we're unhealthily obsessed. And believe me, I'm the first to talk, I'm speaking from experience, with our counterpart, with our relationship, with trying to make it work instead of allowing the natural gravitational pull to bring people together. Again, if you believe in those subtle energies. Okay, there's a bridge here. I mean, to me, I read it as like a path forward away from this kind of unhealthiness, as it were. I think that whatever energies are the kind of protagonist archetypes here, it seems to be that a feminine energy is looking to a masculine energy. For the cerebral, the logical, the mathematical, the scientific, maybe even the accountability. And again, as always, all of these energies playing out could be a reflection of internal energies. Where a feminine energy is looking to a masculine energy within yourself. What do you hold really true, steadfast, morally, in regards to values and things like that? I think is another interpretation. But again, there seems to be this kind of fallout from this equal exchange. There seems to be some variance or differentiation between methods or ways in which things have been operating either internally or externally. The word ecosystem comes into mind, and to me that makes me think of the individual. How do we handle certain energies? What systems do we have in process? Do we succumb to temptations, urges, carnal desires, primal desires? Or do we try to raise those energies and those vibes? By the way, speaking of which, I didn't ring the bell today. Yeah, and just speaking of which, yesterday night was a lot of kind of strong, almost bewildering energies, chaotic, confused energies at night. I'm, imagining that it's the full moon, I believe in Aries. I typically go out and do deliveries at night. At least that's what my time schedule would lend itself to, but yesterday in particular, I was just not feeling it. I was not feeling doing tarot either. So that was another thing. It came to mind. So I just used yesterday to rest, basically. Although I was on the fence of should I log on or should I go out and things like that. Okay, there's sudden change here, there's sudden movement, is what I'm getting. Divine intervention, okay, to help knock the ego. Also, the ego could be a limiting factor towards the divine as well. So the tower moment doesn't have to be a calamity or a catastrophe. It could be a miracle. I mean, the lightning is divine, so it's divine intervention. Like I mentioned yesterday, for me, there was a huge blessing. I woke up to money in my account from the state, and I had no idea that there was this program where, sorry, I'm looking at my eye here. I got a itch in my eye that I'm noticing. But there was this program that California is doing, I guess, where, middle class earners get a credit in their account. So, needless to say, I was benefited from that. But to me, that was like pennies from heaven. As my mom would say. Yes, I'm a mama's boy. So it's kind of like to me that was a little mini miracle. That was like, oh my God, and it wasn't only that, it was just like the timing. It was like, Jesus Christ, like I had like negative $115 in my account. I already told myself that I would have to work really hard today, and lo and behold, I got this miracle blessing and a breakthrough, essentially. And the question yesterday was like, was it the chicken or the egg? Did I sense something was coming? That's why I prayed, or, and I need to, fill out that iteration of my timeline, storyline, or was it really truly a miracle blessing? It's up for your interpretation. So, to me, in my mind, I don't know if you want to say like, oh, hedge your bets or whatever, but I just kind of look at it as like, well, I don't know how I look at it, to be honest. I don't. But, as far as the intervention, we're talking about a tower moment. That was a tower moment, but it wasn't a catastrophe. It wasn't a calamity. On the contrary, it was a miracle, a breakthrough. And so something that came out of the blue that spun or changed the trajectory of, however you viewed your situation to be, So, yeah. So again, in this context, knocking the crown off the ego, this is almost like there's like a limiter here, like a cap. And this is knocking the cap limiter off the ego, so to speak. I'm no longer being limited by my kind of ideation of lack, my ideas of lack. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else, Spirit? Okay, there's a falling out of friendship, lack of action here, and I also see family. I see stability towards family, towards kingdom, towards an empire, towards a way of a household. But in order to do that, I suppose you have to let go of the past. I suppose you have to let go of actions that no longer serve you, and you really need to buckle down and harness your focus and your intention. The word integrity came through as well. The word integrity came through as well. Yeah, so to me, I actually like this setup, despite how it might come across, because you're blind to the miracles that are in place for you. I'm getting that these were one of many miracles that are in place for you, and on top of that being an angelic card. But look at, I believe this to be the protagonist of the reading, the me or the you of the reading, where we're blinded, we're even probably surrounded by doubt or thoughts, maybe in somewhat of a birdcage prison, and all you know externally is to fight, and you're fighting for something, but you're not really internally. It could be that you're not really entirely sure. And this miracle blessing, I think, is coming through in the form of finally reaching your goals of either a family or creating your own family, or building that legacy that you could call your own from the ground up. This is how I'm seeing this, actually. Okay, I see this kind of trusty, sturdy steed here, and I see stability, I see strength, more than you could even, not take for granted at this point. But really, truly, it's just such a badass, strong, prevailing energy here. To me, I do feel as though that you will have to put the emotions. I feel as though that you've been doing a good job at not letting not letting yourself play a victim, not letting yourself just take any offer, not settling for anything less than high quality. Okay, is what I'm getting here. So, to me, that's really cool. Well, you're open, but again, you're not settling, you're not taking any BS that is not worth your time here. which I think leads me to the start of this video, which was speaking to not necessarily obsessing about maybe like a relationship or what's coming down the pike, what's coming down the pipeline. Um, just continue to focus on, yes, your vision is, clear and strong. Act as if it's already there is also what I'm just kind of getting right now. Act like you're already in the relationship of your dreams. Act like you're already, making all the money that you need and want, and act like you're already just having fun and playing. When you have to go out and do things that formerly you would have called work. Things like that go a long way. Because then you see it as not, work, but you actually see it as fun and play. Act confident and secure about being on camera or doing tarot readings, even though you get a little neurotic about your looks and you start to play with your hair. But you know what I'm saying, like things like that. If you don't like the phrase "fake it till you make it," then yeah, it would just be embodying that feeling of like, I feel great, I feel happy, whole and complete. There's no chinks in my armor. Oh, snap, can you hear me? Why can't you hear me? Are you sure you can't hear me? Can you hear me? Let me see. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yes? No? Said she couldn't hear me, so now I'm like, oh shit, what if she can't hear me? Testing, can you hear me? Testing, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Testing, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Testing, can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. I don't know what she was talking about. But in on my side, it's working. On the YouTube side, it's working. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but it should work. In any event, so yeah, we're just talking about like embodying that feeling of like not giving life or existence to like lingering doubt or things like that, or things unfinished. I think that we fall in the trap of like being so married to like logic and like A plus B, but we have to remind ourselves that like we're also the writers of this narrative. And I could say like I'm not bothering myself with these kind of logic puzzles that my mind present itself to me. Like I'm free, I'm happy, I'm whole and complete. There's no chinks in my armor. In a spiritual sense, and it's true in a spiritual sense, because all you have to do is really kind of have that like come to Jesus moment, come to yourself moment, and realize like you are the only one that you need. And I'm not saying that in like a Kenny Powers kind of way, but I'm saying that in a way like first and foremost, like yeah, like close family and friends can have toxic attributes. You don't have to cut them off, but you could expect that from them and see the dynamic from a higher place. In which case, what? In which case, um, you don't fall into the same cycles and you don't repeat the same traps. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say. When it comes to all that. So, alright guys, I'm about ready to sign off. I did 20 minutes. I'm going to try to do like 20 minutes a day maybe. But reach out if you're interested in reading and all that good stuff. Love and light to you guys. Peace. How do I stop this? Oh, I think I just X out. Bye guys.